your inner circle. And this is something, again, even as HSRA, we've had to do is model my home. Your company has to protect the inner circle. We're talking about A players, but that is huge. Your family unit has to protect against the enemy, against things that forces that are trying to come in and kill, steal, and destroy. And guess what? You could be the enemy. Are you the enemy? And you don't even really realize it. Believer or not, it's a good story when Jesus said, "Get behind me, Satan." And who was he talking to? His friend, Peter. Are you a friend, but you're also the enemy? Because you're trying to fragment what we're doing. You're trying to do your own thing. You're trying to have your own ideas. But it's like power in proximity, power in collaboration. So where can we continue to align and we protect our inner circle? And you know, there are people that come and go within HSRA that aligned at one time and maybe don't align anymore, and that's okay. And they go do their thing, and that is okay. But if you want to be part of something great, we're going to be great with or without you. Do we want you? 100%. 100%. And will we support you and love on you? 100%. But you might not be in our inner circle. So we need the designers. Do designers do STR? Absolutely. We need the realtors. 100%. They're finding us properties. They're referrals for us. When you're a realtor, you get now a referral when you pass on that to someone else. And you get access to MLS. You don't have to be in production to be able to do those things, to have some advantages there. We now become a subject matter expert because we understand what fiduciary responsibility is. And we can be provide better service because we understand what they're walking through. So protect your inner circle. I want you right now to do something hard that Elena had us do. And that is write down a name of someone in your life that should not be in your inner circle.
It's so hard.
And please don't make it your spouse. It might be a boyfriend or girlfriend. You're like, uh-oh. But you've committed to that spouse. Don't just try to change them in, trade them in.
That doesn't mean that you're getting rid of them in your life.
Yes.
That just means they're not your
They're
ride
not
or
in
die.
your inner circle. It doesn't mean you cut off. Now, some of you might need to cut ties. And Elena talked about that. But some of you, it just might need, we have less conversations. And I don't really ask you for advice on a certain topic because I know what the answer is going to be and it's going to pull me down. So write a name. How many of you did it? I need to see a flag and I need all flags waving. So we're going to wait till every flag is up if you wrote a name down. Jill, how important is it? Do you have family, like extended family, that you kind of have? Guys have a big family. What's the difference in certain things in that, and how do you limit that?
Yeah.
We're waiting, by the way.
Yes, and as y'all know, I am in a big family, and I love every single one of them. But even extended family, you've got that small think. And I did not go to college. Both of my parents went to college, so I was raised as go to college, get your degree, and work for the rest of your life. And I was telling this wonderful lady over here in this corner in the brown sweater last night, I was telling her last night that I have learned more in the past. This is my fourth summit. Yes, fourth summit. Oh my gosh. In the past 4 years, working with this amazing two women than I have in my entire life. And I was not somebody that loved to go to school, but learning the things that we have learned together, it excites me. Every single time Jana comes with a new idea, it freaks us out. It definitely freaks us out because we're like, crap, what's going to happen? But
A employee over here.
But yes, we do it and smile, and we know that we are going to eventually get over this hump of fear and get it done. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be more than we ever could have dreamed of, and we all get to do it together. So if you have that family, if you have those friends, if it's your spouse, because it could totally be your spouse that is don't tell them, yes, but it could totally be your spouse that's like, what are you doing? You're working your butt off. You're doing all this. And Elena talked about this yesterday. She said, you don't want those people in your life. You want your husband, you want your wife. Don't kick them out. But you need to sit down with them and explain to them. Sometimes it's as easy as just explaining the why and bringing them in. I talked with a few people that are not within the HSRA membership, but they are community. And they talked that they wanted to come to Summit, but they wanted to bring their husbands, but their husbands didn't want to come. And I was just like, oh, that is really hard, because when you have that issue, when it's husband and wife, and they aren't wanting to support you, that is probably the most hardest thing ever. But just sitting down with them and having that conversation, having that communication of, this is what we're going to do. We're going to sit down. This is our 5-year plan, our 10-year plan. Even show some proof of other people that you've worked with, like Elena or Grant. Show the proof. But just don't let the negative, don't allow the negative. You can still love them. You can still talk to them like Jana said, but just don't. Sometimes I'm almost done. I go to family events, and there are some things that you just don't say. It just doesn't get brought up, because you know that it's going to stir on something, and you know those boundaries. So if anybody out there has that same issue, just don't bring it up. And if they bring it up, you say, nope, not talking about it. So that's my 2 cents.
And sometimes they just have to experience it, right? Like sometimes Vince had to experience it. Jana brought Vince to 10X Growth Con in Miami, and he sat there, and same deal. Never, like, you just get a good county job or whatever, you know. He doesn't have an entrepreneurial spirit. However, he took so much away from that. He takes so much away from experiencing me and Jana and talking to me when I have to walk out because I miss my husband, because I'm that wife that's like, we literally start texting as soon as I leave the house. Miss you too. But I debrief to him everything that happened, and he gets so amped, you guys. Let's do it. Let's build it. What does Jana need? I'll do it. She needs a video. She needs this. She needs training. Let's do it. It's because I'm sharing it with him, and sometimes it doesn't happen right away, but it will happen. And it's amazing to see people grow. And I love seeing that Jill's grown so much.
Yes.
I love that Jill is a freaking rock star of an employee. And when Jana, you guys know Jana's constantly going places, right? So as soon as she comes back, we already know what's up. Right? Jill, you got 10 web pages to build. Are you ready? Let's do this. And it's not like oh my gosh, we have it. It's like, let's do this. It's something new and exciting. And so that's the type of energy and support that all of you need.
Yes. And if any of y'all read I think it was the last article that I wrote in the publication, I talked about employees want change. This is just a little plug-in. Employees want change. You mentioned something about, us not freaking out. We're like, oh my gosh, we don't want to do this. Employees want change. Just know that out there. The second thing that I wanted to say, coming back to my parents, like I said, both of my parents, they went to college and they wanted me to go to college. Every time that I am with them and I tell them what we're doing, they are the most proud parents ever. So they had this thought when I was in high school that I had to go to college to be successful, but they are seeing that I am more successful than they could have ever imagined now. And I have the best team, so just wanted to add that little piece of it.
I love it.
That was a little counseling session for you guys.
Well, it's true that your success has legacy, and it has a ripple effect to your team. So there's duty in that, right? Now, we do what we do, but now to be able to impact others, right? Impact. So it's amazing. And that's what partners do. They protect their inner circle. I have to cut off people. I don't have conversations with people. And again, you love them. You heard Elena cut. Where did they go? I don't know. So that name that you wrote down, everybody, did you write a name down?
Let me see your flag.
And did you want to totally like scratch it out really fast.
You can cover it like in school when
Yes.
I was trying to cheat off your test
Yes.
and you're like,
But it makes it real when you write it down. It really does. It's not just a thought. It's now real. It's written. It's real. And it's confronting. It's very confronting. But sometimes things have to happen to get uncomfortable. You've got to confront certain things. And that's growth.